So our last test for the mystery of the dying fish is we're going to be testing the phosphate levels in some of the local water samples. So in the Gray Bay area, we have some water samples from the golf course drainage, the small town drainage, and our cattle ranch drainage. Could one of those areas be causing a high level of phosphate in the water to be making it unsafe for the fish? Let's test it and find out. So could phosphates from the local cattle ranch or golf course be causing the fish to die? We're going to be testing the water samples from 3 different areas in the gray area. We're going to look at the cattle ranch drainage, the golf course drainage, and the small town drainage to see if the phosphate levels are too high in those waters for the fish. For this test, all you need are the 3 water samples, our little testing boats, and our phosphate indicator. If the phosphate level is too high in the water samples, then the color of the water is going to turn yellow with our phosphate indicator. If the phosphate level in the water is okay for the fish, then the water sample is going to turn a blue or a green. So we're going to test the phosphate levels in each of the water samples that we have, and you can find your data sheet in your case files day 20. We're going to start in order as it's listed in your data sheet with the cattle ranch drainage. So I've already placed a small amount of our water sample in our first little boat. And then with our phosphate indicator, I'm just going to fill my dropper and just add a few drops into the boat of our cattle ranch. About 5 drops. So if you can see there, the color that is swirling, you're going to record that color in your data sheet. Again, yellow is too high phosphate levels for the fish, and blue or green is an okay level of phosphate in that water for the fish to now test the golf course drainage. So I've already put a sample of the golf course drainage in our little boat. And again, I'm going to just add a few drops of our phosphate indicator. About 5 drops. So if you can note the color, and you're going to record that in your data sheet for the golf course drainage. Remember, yellow is too high of phosphate levels in the water, and blue or green is an okay level of phosphates in the water for fish to live. Okay, we're now going to test the small town drainage. Again, I've already put a small amount of that water sample in our little boat. And I'm going to add a few drops of our phosphate indicator. Okay, so you can note the color change of that water sample, and you can record that on your data sheet. Remember, yellow, phosphate levels are too high, and a blue or green, phosphate levels are okay for fish to live. Could the phosphate levels be causing the fish to die in the Gray Bay area?